We are Project Communication, and we are perfectly imperfect.
I'm Linda.
I'm Sherry.
And I'm Mary.
Today we have a very different show for you. This will probably be our most controversial interview we do. But as our logo states, many voices, many perspectives. Before we get on with the interview, I would like to pose a serious question to you, for you to ponder. Is human trafficking always wrong? We all know that it is always legally wrong, and there are serious consequences ranging in severity for doing this, not to mention personal risks of safety, both the trafficker and the trafficked. However, I want you to think about how you feel about it morally. There are different kinds of trafficking. Mm-hmm. We've got sex trafficking. I think we could all agree probably that's not okay. We've got child trafficking for various different reasons. We've got drug trafficking. We have arms and weapons trafficking. Trafficking for domestic servitude, and individuals are often coerced by false promises or for better opportunities. Mm-hmm. And there's flat out forced labor.
Yeah, not good.
So all of these have some pretty nasty and hurtful ramifications. I would agree. Would you agree they're pretty
Absolutely.
much all both morally and legally wrong?
Right.
We could talk more about those in the future. But anyway, today, the trafficking we're talking about is none of these. We're going to discuss something a little bit different. This person that we are interviewing today has done time in federal prison for trafficking people who want to work here, live here, provide better for their families, and have perhaps a better education for their children. They also want a safer environment for their families. And while they're here, they may contribute positively to our country, but they are still ineligible for almost all benefits. Mm-hmm. Yet they are here illegally. Our guest, River, hello, River.
Hello.
Did not cross the border. He transported them once they were on our side of the border. So please welcome River, who is somewhat disguised. We have him off camera, so he's completely disguised to protect his identity. He's not at risk legally. He has served his time for his crime and has left that world behind. So without further ado, do you guys have anything to add to anything I've said?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So, what on earth motivated you at 21 years old to do such a wild and crazy thing?
Originally, it started because of money. I was in a position where I had just moved somewhere and I was new to being an adult. And I thought I was moving to a different situation than I ended up being in. And I started worrying about money. And an opportunity came along to essentially make money.
Some pretty good money.
And so I took it. But along the journey, after I started after I started doing it and connecting with the people who I was assisting to get to where they were going, I started to really care about them and find them super interesting because they all had stories that were really cool about their travels and where they're going and where they're from and what motivates them and things of that nature. And so I started to really appreciate the ability to help the people, especially because a lot of the people on that journey are not always treated the best by the people who are assisting them. So to have the opportunity to treat a human as a human, having a human experience in a world where they're doing their best and not always treated as such, was
It was an added bonus.
It was definitely an added bonus.
So you felt good about what you were doing.
Yes.
So can you tell us about how much were you offered per person?
So originally, when the opportunity first arose, I was offered $700 per person that I would transport. At the As I progressed into it, I was making up to $1,000 a person, and there are also other places where people make more than that. But it varies, but it can be quite lucrative.
Okay. So you had said that you began to care about them. So what was I going to say? I think I'm skipping ahead here. What did you do for some of these people?
Like along the journey while I had them.
Right.
Okay. Well, there was a lot of things because, they're human, and a lot of these people, they've been traveling for weeks on foot through the desert. They don't have amenities. They've been using the bathroom out in the desert. They've been doing all these things that are very uncomfortable. They're such hardships. So when I had people staying at my house waiting, I would make sure that they had food that they liked. I would make sure that they had clothes because they travel through the desert with not very much stuff, and so they wear their camouflage outfits that they bring along and to get through the desert, and that's pretty much all they have. So their clothes, they've had the same clothes on for weeks. They're soiled, they're dirty. So let them shower. Mm-hmm. Buy them clothes, even if it's just sweatpants and a sweatshirt that are clean. I'd get them toothbrushes, make sure they have toothbrush and toothpaste so they can brush their teeth. Make sure they have things to do because sometimes we'd be at my house for quite a bit of time, and that's boring, especially because I'm not there hanging out with them all the time because I have a life and I have things that I need to do. So just sitting there waiting can be boring. So I'd make sure they have things that can keep them occupied so they're not just bored out of their minds and things like that.
Okay. So tell us about something you told me. You came home one day and...
Yeah, so there was I believe it was a brother and a sister, or they were cousins, but it was a lady and a gentleman, and they were really cool. And we talk as much as we could because obviously they only speak Spanish, and my Spanish was more limited at the time, but I would learn as I would talk to the people. So we would talk, and we liked each other basically. And one day I had went to work. I had to work, so I went to work. I worked a full shift, and when I came home, my house. Spotless. They cleaned the whole thing and did like such a great job, and it was crazy because the house was kind of a mess. Yeah. The house was kind of a mess. I'm a 21-year-old living alone. Yeah.
Oh, we can only imagine.
Yeah.
So the people that you were helping or transporting were not bringing drugs over?
No,
not that you know.
Drugs, not guns. Well, I can say with pretty good confidence that for surely not. I would have these people in my home for an extended period of time. I knew their luggage. I knew their things because the people who I was working for, they would make cell phones. I have to take their cell phones. I have to take these people's possessions due to who I'm working for, which I didn't like to do that. That was like one of my least favorite things to do, but it was important for their journey. So I would have to do these things. So I know what the people have with them. I see them every day. I see their stuff. They have one bag, one backpack with stuff in it, with clothes, with shoes, with provisions. I know what they have.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's not drugs. It's not guns.
Yeah.
It's not, and that's not.
And they
to
had
say-
no little children they were bringing over.
No, not
that.
and even if they did, I am confident that the little children that they would be bringing over would be their family, that they're bringing over because they don't want to leave their child behind.
Right.
Because they love their children. A lot of people do leave their whole family behind and come here alone so that they can make a better life for their family.
Right. So, I think we've kind of covered it a little bit, but what are some common misconceptions about these people?
Common misconceptions are, like we were just talking about, that every single person coming here has ill intention or is going to be a problem or just is like there's a negative connotation or to illegal immigrant. You know, automatically a lot of people just think negative, think about people are taking our jobs and people are doing this, and then they come here and they cause trouble and all these things when, you know, people are people. People are people regardless of anything. Dr. Seuss says, people are people no matter how small.
Yeah.
And not that people are small, but the difference is, don't matter. We're all human. And so, so there's going to be bad in a batch. Mm-hmm. You know, there's going to be things that happen. There's going to be,
But that was not really in your experience.
In my experience, that is not. And I'm not denying I'm not denying that happens. Because it does.
Yes, but in your experience,
but
not.
The things that I did, no, those people were not. Mm-hmm. Those people were not doing those things. And there are so many people who come here who are not here to cause trouble, to do anything, literally do anything but work and provide for their families and make a better life for their families. And a lot of those people, guess what? They're not actually going to get in trouble. Because why? Because they don't want to get deported because they're here to do something. Right. They're here for a purpose. So they're literally not going to go out and cause trouble. They're going to go to work, come home, drink some beers, eat some food, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. Because they are here on a purpose. They are here with determination. They are here with fortitude. They are here with a drive.
Yeah.
And when they have that, there's something they're working for. Why would they throw it away just because, and that's, again, not to say that it doesn't happen, because sometimes things that we don't foresee happening happen. It's part of the human experience. Mm-hmm. But,
So, why do you think they didn't come the legal way? What are your thoughts on that?
One, the actual process of that is so complicated and time consuming that some of these people have applied. Some of these people have tried. Some of these people have tried multiple times. And you know what? If, that doesn't mean just go do willy-nilly whatever you want. I understand there's rules and things of this nature. But life happens. Mm-hmm. You can't stop life from happening. So what if this person has a need to come here for whatever reason, not necessarily like they're in danger or anything like that, but just they have a need to come here and it keeps on getting denied. Well, if I have this need, I need to do it. So, all right, I'm going to find a way to do it. And I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of because it's my life and I am responsible for my life. And if I don't do this thing, well, I don't know. I don't want to find out what happens if I don't do this thing. So it's so time consuming, complicated, expensive. Yeah, there are so many things and
Do they make better money here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tell us something about, I don't think it's a stereotype, how hard workers they are.
Yeah.
They are very hard workers.
Yeah. Well,
right?
because especially think about it. if you're going to traverse through a desert
Yeah.
for weeks on end, not knowing, there's dangers in the desert, rattlesnakes, things, scorpions, things that I don't even know of.
Yeah.
Even cacti.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get pricked by some cacti. That's not fun. Rub against a baby cacti. That's not
that's
fun.
bad. That's bad.
That's horrible. And so there's all these things where if you're gonna do all that to get here, you're dang skippy. They're gonna be hard workers. Like they didn't come here to just whatever. I'll find a job when I find one.
Right.
They went through all of that for something.
And they're not getting anything for free here.
No. They're not
don't
getting
get the
handouts.
benefits.
They can't get benefits.
No.
They don't have a social security number. They don't have these things where they don't have community.
Right.
Here, so they can't access the things that a community can access. And a lot of them are isolated because language.
Yes.
Language barriers. So there's a lot of things that, and don't get me wrong, now the further we progress in time, there are more ways around the language barrier, but still, in your day-to-day interactions, you're going to be pretty much isolated, and you're not going to have the same access to benefits that people who have the ability to be in the social structure.
All right. So I suppose
I have a question, or not a question, but I always hear from people saying, I can't keep up with them at work.
Yeah.
And I would just kind of say to them, but you don't have to prove yourself.
Yep.
You do not have to prove yourself.
Right.
In our country, we become very lazy is not the right word,
No,
but
Complacent.
complacent is a good word. And that, I need to have a break every, hour, and they just plow right through.
Yeah.
And my perception is that they're doing it because they need to prove themselves. And
they're used to it.
and
I think
they're
they're
used
used
to
to
it.
having to work to survive.
Yeah, exactly. And so I kind of look at that as like, and the other thought that I had too along that, they don't know who is friend or foe.
That's right.
So they are going to keep to themselves, and they are going to stay out of trouble. And if they do get in trouble, it's within their little group, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, and also some do get jobs and do pay in taxes. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I know that there's billions that are
After they have gotten a green
in
card,
taxes.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe after
or
they've gotten
a work visa.
Also with that though, I mean, the way that I think about
Billions.
it now, maybe I'm incorrect, but the way that I look at it, okay, so I did roofing, and with roofing, I was subcontracted. So I had a boss, but my boss was a subcontractor, so he would get subcontracts to do this roof, and then he'd subcontract us. So the boss is getting paid this amount, and guess what? That money's being taxed
Yes.
for the work that these people are doing. So that there still is tax coming out. Plus, people need gas. People need gas for their cars to make it to work. People need food. Well, food's not taxed, but people need gas. People need resources. Some people smoke cigarettes, alcohol. People like beer. If they grill a lot, charcoal. There's so many things that people are buying that are taxed.
That are
Right.
taxed.
So there's literally no way to get around that tax.
Right.
Like people are paying taxes regardless.
They're
Even if they're working under the table, guess what? The government's still taxing.
Yeah.
The government is still taxing everything, so you're still getting taxed.
Yeah.
Regardless, people are paying taxes. It
And
doesn't
they're
matter.
contributing to the economy.
They are contributing
Right.
to the economy. A lot of and I also actually heard this argument last night or early this morning. Somebody was like, "Well, they make all this money and then they send it home. They don't keep it here. Well, at least keep it here." And okay, I see that point. Like I get that because that is something that happens. A lot of people do work here, save up money, go home, start a business, and now they're all right back home where they really want to be. And so that's understandable. But at the same time, while they are here, they are contributing to the economy. They're like, how many people though work and save up money? People save their money, and that money's not going back into the economy. So, is this person wrong for saving their money?
Right.
They need to spend all their money at like what? They're already, like we've touched on, they're already paying taxes when they buy whatever they need to buy.
Right.
Well, how is that any different than them sending their well-earned money back to their families to help support them? Number one, I think kudos to you. Now, what about the greater politicians and business people who work and earn their money off from us and then send their money overseas into a shell account? What's the difference?
Right. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Yep.
it's like, dude, you keep looking down there as the problem when the problem is above you.
Lovely. Yeah. Perfect.
I love you.
Literally.
Yeah.
In so many things.
I'm
Yes.
Stokey.
In so many things.
Okay, so we kind of covered. So you really had no guilt. You really felt that you didn't do anything really wrong
I mean,
morally.
legally,
Yes,
obviously.
right.
Legally, obviously, yeah, I broke the law. Should we break the law? No, we shouldn't break the law. So legally, yeah.
Well, we shouldn't speed.
Right.
Yeah, we should.
And I did today to get to my appointment on time.
Oh, darn it.
Okay. Well, moving along. So I'll just kind of read. So you said people are in the desert for months.
Yeah.
Sometimes whole families. You didn't
I
transport
did not transport
families.
any families, but well, people were like cousins or brother
right.
and sister.
Yeah.
But as far as whole families, no.
yeah.
Can you imagine spending months in the desert with your family and kids?
I can't. I can't even imagine. I can't
To
imagine.
want the American dream so bad
Yeah.
that you are willing to do this.
Is it the American dream, or is it that they want to take care of their family?
Right.
That
obviously
compassion to
Right.
take care of their family.
Yeah, and just knowing that by coming here it's possible. So technically it's almost not the American dream. It's literally just the drive of
Survival.
Survival. Yeah, it's and wow, that's really important because human beings, when put in a survival situation, it's amazing what they'll do. And then people judge these people who are in survival for surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Did you encounter any people that were escaping a dangerous situation from their home country?
Not doing that.
Okay.
Not doing that, but that I have encountered that a few times. So there's two different sides of it, though. I will say, because when I lived where I was, I met this guy who was he might have been a no, he wasn't. Okay. No, sorry.
If you could only see his facial expressions right now.
He's really thinking hard.
But I knew this guy, and he was here, and he had done some things that he shouldn't have done to some people that he shouldn't have done them to. Mainly like taking things from people that he shouldn't have taken things from. And he couldn't go back because he would.
There was a price on his head.
There was a price.
So he was not wanting to go back ever.
Of course.
But on the flip side of that, I recently met somebody who I believe they might be here on asylum. I'm not 100% positive about it, but basically, him and his sister, when they were really young when they came here, because their dad owned a business out in, I believe it was Guatemala. Their dad owned a business, and one day he either had a twin or a brother who looked very similar to him. And one day, this brother of his was opening the shop and got killed. Oh. And they thought it was, basically the aim was this kid's dad. And so when this happened, they took their family, like, and they were just business owners, you know, not nefarious, not anything. And basically, yeah, so they came here. I'm pretty sure they're on asylum, or came here on that. They might have been granted citizenship at this point, but yeah, they had to go.
Sure.
Because there's people trying to.
They were targeted.
Yeah, they were targeted, and at that point, anybody, I believe, is not going to say, "Hey, you know what? This just happened. Let me just stay here."
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'll hang out.
They don't really care about legal at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
it's
I don't
survival.
think anybody should.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
right.
So now I'm going to flip that coin. How many people in this country cannot open their mouth without persecution, without being targeted? Really, they would be perfect asylum seekers out of our country,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really isn't any difference other than we Americans think we are the top dog in all societies, and we're not.
And we are not. We
So-
are bullies. We love to be the bully.
And
You know, we did a series on that.
Yeah. Not in that.
Not in that context, but
but our Constitution grants us the freedom of speech, and it's which, for better or for worse, but there in other countries like Nicaragua, like Venezuela, other especially Central and South American countries, they may not have that freedom.
But that is
They have
right.
protected
That,
it more
but
than-
when you look at government officials, when you're looking at business, big
Business.
top business, when they know something is going on, and they can't say anything because their families are threatened.
Yes.
What do you think is going on right now in our country? Everybody's remaining silent. So we are calling the kettle black.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely. All the time.
Yeah.
100%. That's and that's the thing is I think that now this might be too metaphysical for this, but I believe that everything on the outside of us is a not believe, I know this to be true, that everything on the outside of us is a mirror of what's on the inside of us. And
Absolutely.
when you fix what's on the inside of you, you no longer see the problem on the outside of you. And so
And you're not triggered.
And you're not precisely. You're not triggered then. You're not triggered by this person living their life the way that they need to live their life for them. They are on their own journey now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She just need me.
I did. In an affirmative way. Yes. This is what she preaches. Yes. Even with our stones here. This is my worry stone, so I don't fidget and adjust my clothes. Anyway, so carrying on, we're going to probably do a couple more questions, and then we'll do a part 2.
Okay.
So anyway, I asked that. So what, in general, just kind of briefly, what was the process? They'd be here, you'd get a call to pick up someone at a certain point. Can you just...
Okay, so the process is this. I'm going to go from the start of it.
Okay.
Because it's their journey. The process is this. They're in whatever country they're in, because it's not just Mexico. Mexico is just right next to us, touching us. But they come from South America. They come from Central America. Anywhere people are coming. So they start their journey by they pay, I believe it's about $10,000, which in their country is or in their currencies, that's a lot of money. So
It's a lot of money here, too.
it is. But so they pay at least $10,000 to have somebody help them, guide them, tell them the route to go, help them keep on track to get where they need to go. So they hire somebody to help them. This somebody gets them up to the border and across the border. Okay. Then once they are across the border, that's where whoever, like the role that I was playing, that's where I come in, but the person who's playing that role, that's where this person comes in. this person is working for somebody, and the somebody will call them, say, hey, do you want to work? You say, yep, I want to work. They say, all right, at this, you're going to go to this mile marker on this highway, and there will be this many people waiting for you. So you go pick them up. Then the way that I personally did it, I had a house, so it was easy to do this. The way that I would do it is I would pick them up. I would tell them take off their dirty clothes so that that's gone. They're not dirty. Come to my house. We'd wait at my house, and basically there's checkpoints. There's border patrol checkpoints. Not on the border, past the border in America, making sure things leaving from border areas are not drugs, illegal immigrants, things of that nature, making sure. Yes. So anyways, so then you have to make it past the checkpoint. Well, the checkpoints often close during bad weather, inclement weather.
Can I interject? We're so concerned about illegal people getting over, but the people at the checkpoints are going home because it's windy.
Yeah. Too strong gusts of wind. Oh yeah.
And rain.
Yep, and rain. Yep. And then guess what? They're going right through. So we would wait. We would wait at the house until inclement weather occurred, whether it be windy or rain or whatever. Maybe a little too cloudy, and then might go in. That might not be true. But then I'll take them 3 hours north of where I was and drop them off. And then from where I drop them off, they go on the rest of their journey to wherever they're going to, whether it be north or east. A lot of them were heading more towards like the east coast sometimes, and yeah, so from it's like a hub. I drop them off at the hub, and then they go the direction that they're going.
Wow.
Yep.
It's kind of, like what's
Like Amazon shipping.
You go here to get here.
I was thinking of the Underground Railroad.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. It is. It is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't. Well, I mean, I guess I wasn't. I obviously weren't around at the time of the Underground Railroad, but I would say my perspective of the Underground Railroad is a little more prestigious than this. Because, and I'll say that because honestly, these people aren't really treated very good.
Yeah.
And it's not so like. Now, mind you, like I said, this is just my perspective of what the Underground Railroad to me is so empowering and so cool, and so obviously maybe people were mistreated back then as well. I don't know. But I would say like it's rough for them.
Yeah.
Like it's really rough. Not just the things that they put themselves through, but also the way that people treat them. Like toothbrush. Like there was a time where the people I was working for told me, oh yeah, you might have them for a little bit longer. So just wait. I was like, all right, well I'll go get them clothes and I'll get them toothbrushes. And the person I was working for said, oh, they can share a toothbrush.
Oh.
I said, what?
It's such a cheap item.
Right. It's such a minuscule expense. Like, I'm pretty sure I can afford a second toothbrush. We don't have to share. Yikes. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's funny, but it's not.
No, it isn't.
That's just an example of of the things, like the way that people treat them. And the people that they paid stinking $10,000 to treat them like that.
Yeah, it is. I find it so asinine.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mind is going all over. I'm thinking of, not only toothbrushes, but female necessities.
All those toiletries.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awful in the desert. But anyway,
Yes,
and
I'm
anything.
a guy, so of course I don't really think about that. But
No,
holy cow.
Not to get gross,
Horrible.
but
That's horrible,
yes, it would be.
And on that note, we're going to take a pause and end part 1.
Yep.
And we'll pick up on part 2. And so if you're watching,
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned and tune right back in for part 2. So see you on the flip side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.